Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something from the bottom of my heart. The greatest journey you will ever take in your life is the journey within yourself. You see, most people spend their whole lives looking at others, comparing, judging, measuring their success against someone else's. But the truth is, you'll never win that way. You win in life the moment you decide to focus on yourself, your growth, your purpose, and your vision. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something powerful. The moment you start believing in your own growth and potential, that's the moment your life begins to change. You see, too many people walk their life doubting themselves. They say, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this isn't for me, or maybe I don't have what it takes. But the truth is, you do have what it takes. God didn't create you by mistake. He didn't put you on this earth without purpose. The problem is not your lack of ability, it's your lack of belief in what you can become. When you start believing in your personal growth, you shift your mindset from limitation to possibility. You start realizing that the person you are today doesn't define who you can be tomorrow. You are not a finished product. You're a work in progress, and every single day, you have the power to evolve. You've got to understand something. Growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide to invest in yourself. You can't wait for opportunities to knock at your door. Sometimes you've got to build the door. Believing in your growth means waking up every morning with a mindset that says, I can do better than I did yesterday. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. You might not be where you want to be right now, but that's okay. Nobody starts at the top. The greatest success stories started with small, simple beginnings. The difference between those who win and those who quit is faith. Faith in the process, faith in the work, and faith in yourself. When you believe in your potential, you no longer focus on what you lack. You start focusing on what you can create. Now, let me tell you something about personal growth. It's uncomfortable. It will test you. It will challenge you. It will push you to confront parts of yourself that you'd rather ignore. But that's where transformation happens. Growth doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from being willing to struggle, fail, and keep moving forward. Every time you push past fear, every time you take a step despite uncertainty, you are growing. The person you are becoming has been those quiet moments when you refuse to give up, even when nobody is watching. When you start believing in your potential, you stop letting fear make decisions for you. Fear says, what if you fail? But belief says, what if I fly? And that small shift in mindset is what separates dreamers from achievers. You see, life is not about luck. It's about preparation meeting opportunity. But you can't prepare if you don't believe you're capable. Every great person you admire started with self-belief. Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, they all had moments when nobody believed in them, but they chose to believe in themselves anyway. That's what makes the difference. You've got to learn to be your biggest supporter because sometimes you'll be the only one who sees your vision. People might doubt you, laugh at your dreams, or tell you it's impossible, but that's okay. Their opinion doesn't define your future. Your belief does. The size of your dream will always reflect the size of your faith. When you believe in your personal growth, you give yourself permission to fail, learn, and rise stronger. You stop waiting for motivation to appear. You create it through action. Every time you choose to learn instead of complain, every time you work on your craft, instead of comparing yourself to others, you're growing. You are molding yourself into a kind of person who can handle success. Because let me tell you, success without growth is empty. The more you grow as a person, the more you attract opportunities that match your energy. The world responds to confidence, to faith, to that quiet inner power that says, I know who I am becoming, You don't have to be perfect to start. You just have to start believing that you can improve. When you plant a seed of self-belief, it grows into a forest of possibilities. So every day, talk to yourself like a winner. Feed your mind with positive thoughts. Read, learn, and surround yourself with people who challenge you to level up. You've got to train your mind the same way an athlete trains their body. Don't focus on how far you have to go. Focus on how far you've come. Growth is not about speed. It's about direction. You're not competing with anyone else. You're competing with the old version of you. And as long as you keep improving, even a little each day, you are winning. You have unlimited potential inside you. The question is, do you believe it enough to unlock it? Because the moment you do, nothing in this world can stop you from becoming everything you were meant to be. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the biggest reasons so many people feel stuck, unhappy, and unfulfilled today is because they keep comparing their lives to somebody else's. We live in a world where everyone's highlight reel is just one click away. You open your phone, scroll through social media, and suddenly you start feeling like you're behind. You see someone traveling, someone buying a new car, someone showing off their success, and you start questioning your own journey. But let me tell you something powerful. Comparison is the thief of joy. The moment you start comparing your life to others, you rob yourself of peace, focus, and confidence. You start chasing someone else's story instead of writing your own. You were never meant to live their life. You were meant to live yours. You've got to understand that everyone's timeline is different. Some people start winning early, some later, and some shine in seasons no one expected. Just because you're not where you want to be right now doesn't mean you're failing. It means your story is still unfolding. When you compare, you're judging your behind the scenes by someone else's final performance. You don't know what battles they fought, what sacrifices they made, or what pain they endured. So stop assuming their success means your loss. There's enough room in this world for all of us to win. Your time is coming, but you'll never see it if you're too busy watching someone else's clock. When you focus on comparison, you lose focus on growth. Your energy goes into envy instead of improvement. You start doubting your gifts and questioning your worth. That's what comparison does. It makes you forget how special you already are. You were born with a unique combination of talents, personality, and perspective that nobody else has. And when you compare, you waste that uniqueness trying to become a copy of someone else. There's no power in imitation. Real power comes from authenticity, from embracing who you are, where you are, and what you're capable of becoming. You have to stop measuring your success by somebody else's ruler because their path was never meant to match yours. The truth is, comparison is a distraction. It pulls your attention away from what truly matters, your progress. The only person you should be competing with is the person you were yesterday. If you're better today than you were last week, that's victory. If you're learning, improving, and pushing yourself forward, that's success. You see, growth is personal. It doesn't happen when you're watching others. It happens when you're working on yourself. You can't run your race looking sideways. You'll trip every time. The only way to win is to look straight ahead and keep moving in your lane, because what God has planned for you is not connected to anyone else's pace. Let me tell you something else. When you stop comparing, you start appreciating. You begin to see how far you've come instead of how far you have to go. You start feeling grateful for the blessings already in your life. And gratitude, my friends, is a magnet for more blessings. When you appreciate your journey, you open the door for growth, peace, and opportunity. But when you compare, you close that door and lock yourself into frustration and self-doubt. You've got to remind yourself daily that success is not about looking better than others. It's about becoming better for yourself. Don't let the illusion of perfection fool you. Everyone you see has struggles. Everyone has fears, insecurities, and challenges they don't show. That person you envy might be fighting battles you can't even imagine. So instead of competing, start connecting. Instead of comparing, start learning. Let other people's success inspire you, not intimidate you. Say to yourself, if they can do it, I can too, in my own time, in my own way. Because success is not a race, it's a journey of becoming. You need to focus on your lane, your progress, and your purpose. Your blessings are tailor-made for you. And no one can take them away because no one else is you. The moment you realize that, you'll stop wasting energy on comparison and start investing it in creation. You'll stop trying to keep up and start standing out. You'll stop living to impress and start living to express. That's when life begins to feel lighter, freer, and more fulfilling. So my message to you today is simple. Stay focused on your path. Celebrate others without losing sight of your own light. You are not behind. You are not late, and you are not less. You are becoming. And as long as you keep your eyes on your own journey, success will find its way to you. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something straight from the heart. Failure is not the end, it's the beginning of growth. Every successful person you've ever admired has failed. Not once, but many times. The difference is they didn't let those failures stop them. They used them as stepping stones, as lessons, as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and better. Failure is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to learn from. When you fail, it simply means you were brave enough to try. And that courage, that willingness to step into the unknown is what separates the dreamers from the doers. You see, the problem is most people fear failure so much that they never even take the first step. They let fear of what could go wrong keep them from discovering what could go right. But you can't win in life if you're too afraid to lose. Every great story has a chapter of struggle, of setback, of disappointment. That's what builds character. That's what prepares you for success. When you fail, you get feedback. You learn what works, what doesn't, and what needs to change. Failure is not your enemy, it's your greatest teacher. It breaks your ego but builds your experience. It humbles you, refines you, and forces you to dig deeper within yourself. Think about it. Every innovation, every breakthrough came from people who failed repeatedly but refused to quit. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he created the light bulb. When someone asked him how it felt to fail that many times, he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. The light bulb was an invention with 1,000 steps. That's what I'm talking about. Perspective. It's not the failure that defines you, it's how you respond to it. If you look at it as the end, you stop growing. But if you look at it as a lesson, you evolve. Failure gives you strength that success never could. Success feels good, but failure builds you. It tests your patience, your faith, and your commitment to your dream. Anyone can be confident when things are going right, but real character shows up when everything falls apart and you still keep going. When the doors close, when people doubt you, when your plans fall through, that's when your faith gets tested. And if you can push through those moments, if you can rise after being knocked down, you come back unstoppable. Because once you survive failure, you no longer fear it. Let me be honest with you. Failure hurts. It stings. It can break your heart and shake your confidence. But pain has purpose. Every failure carries a seed of wisdom that success can't teach you. It teaches you resilience, focus, humility, and perspective. It shows you what truly matters and what doesn't. It removes distractions and exposes your true priorities. When you fail, you learn to depend less on luck and more on discipline. You start realizing that every setback is a setup for a comeback. Sometimes God allows things to fall apart so better things can fall into place. The truth is, you can't grow in comfort. You can't evolve by always getting things right. You've got to stumble, fall, and make mistakes. That's how progress is made. When a child learns to walk, they fall again and again. But they don't give up. They keep trying until they get it right. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we forget that. We become afraid of falling. But if you want to reach your potential, you've got to be willing to fail forward. Every failure gets you closer to success if you keep learning from it. So the next time you fall, don't let it define you. Don't sit in self-pity. Get up, dust yourself off, and ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because that lesson is the real reward. Failure doesn't mean you're not capable. It means you're growing. It means you're trying something new. It means you have the courage to chase something bigger than your comfort zone. And the more you fail, the closer you get to figuring it out. Remember this, diamonds are formed under pressure, not comfort. The same is true for you. Every time you fail, you're being shaped, polished, and prepared for the greatness that's waiting ahead. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are the lessons you learned and the strength you gained from them. Keep your head up. Put a stand that failure is not a wall, it's a door. And when you walk through it with faith, perseverance, and courage, you will find that every failure was simply leading you toward the success you were destined for. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most powerful choices you will ever make in your life is deciding who and what you allow around you. The people, the energy, the conversations, and the environments you spend time in, all of these shape your mindset, your confidence, and your direction. You cannot grow in toxic soil. If you want to win in life, you have to surround yourself with positivity and purpose. You've got to build an environment that feeds your spirit, not one that drains it. Because who you spend time with determines what you start believing is possible for you. If you hang around negative people, people who gossip, complain, and blame others, that energy will slowly start sinking into you. But when you stay close to people who push you higher, people who believe in your potential and celebrate your growth, your entire life begins to elevate. You have to be intentional about the company you keep. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. Some people are meant to watch from the distance. It doesn't mean you hate them. It just means you love yourself enough to protect your peace. Positivity is not about smiling or saying nice words. It's about energy, the energy you choose to carry and the energy you allow in. If someone constantly doubts you, criticizes your dreams, or makes you feel small, that's not your tribe. You can't expect to grow if you're surrounded by people who only talk about limits. You need people who speak life into your vision, who challenge you to rise, and who see greatness in you even when you can't see it yourself. And let me tell you something. Sometimes positivity means being alone for a while. It means stepping back to clear your mind, to reconnect with your goals, and to remind yourself who you are. Solitude is not loneliness, it's strength. It's in those quiet moments that you hear your inner voice the loudest. That's where purpose grows. Purpose is not something you stumble upon, it's something you build day by day through reflection and awareness. When you surround yourself with purpose-driven people, you start thinking differently. You begin to move with intention instead of impulse. You start asking yourself not just what feels good now, but what will make you proud later. Your circle matters because your circle becomes your mirror. If you want to think big, dream big, and achieve big, you need to be around people who live that mindset. When you sit at a table where everyone is growing, you feel inspired to grow too. But if you're sitting with people who only complain and settle, you'll find yourself shrinking to fit in. Growth requires separation. Sometimes you've got to distance yourself from old habits, old friends, and old environments that no longer serve where you're headed. That's not being arrogant. That's being disciplined. You can't elevate while staying attached to what keeps you down. Positivity is contagious, just like negativity. One word of encouragement can change your entire outlook on life. One positive person in your circle can reignite your belief in yourself. That's why you must be just as selective with your thoughts as you are with your friends. Fill your mind with hope, gratitude, and ambition. Listen to uplifting voices, and read inspiring books, and consume content that feeds your purpose. The more positivity you absorb, the more power you generate from within. And when that inner light grows, you naturally start to attract better people, better opportunities, and better experiences. You see, purpose gives meaning to everything you do. When you live with purpose, you stop chasing approval and start chasing growth. You stop wasting time trying to please everyone and start focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. Surrounding yourself with purpose means aligning your actions with your values. It means waking up every day and asking, am I doing today taking me closer to the life I want to live? When your surroundings support that question, your progress becomes unstoppable. The truth is, life will always have negativity. You can't control what happens around you, but you can control what you allow within you. You can choose to stay in a circle of fear, doubt, and excuses, or you can build one filled with faith, hope, and determination. You can choose to let the noise distract you, or you can choose to focus on the music of your purpose. Every choice you make either brings you closer to your destiny or pulls you further away. So choose wisely. Choose positivity even when negativity is louder. Choose people who make you feel capable, not people who make you feel less. Choose environments that inspire you to grow, not ones that remind you of your limits. Protect your energy like it's treasure, because it is. When you surround yourself with positivity and purpose, you begin to see possibilities where others see problems. You start walking with confidence, speaking with conviction, and living with passion. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you attract success. Not by chance, but by the power of the company and purpose you choose to keep. Ladies and gentlemen, the secret to success isn't talent, luck, or even intelligence. It's consistency. You can have all the dreams in the world, all the potential, all the ambition, but if you're not consistent, none of it will matter. Consistency is what separates those who wish from those who achieve. It's what transforms small efforts into massive results over time. Everybody wants success, but not everyone's willing to show up day after day, especially when it gets hard. And that's where the winners are made, in those unseen moments of discipline, in the quiet mornings, in the long nights, in the times when no one is cheering for you, but you still keep going. You see, dreams don't work unless you do. You can't pray for a harvest and never plant the seeds. You can't want the reward but skip the process. Consistency is about showing up, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when it seems like nothing is working. Because the truth is, progress takes time. Growth takes patience. You don't build a strong foundation in a day, and you don't become successful overnight. You get there by taking one step at a time every single day. The problem with most people is not that they can't start. It's that they don't stay. They give up too soon. They stop right before the breakthrough. But those who win understand that consistency always pays off, even when it takes longer than expected. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about doing your best with what you have today, and when tomorrow comes, doing it again. Some days you'll move fast, and other days you'll barely crawl. But as long as you're moving forward, you're winning. You've got to trust that every small effort counts. Every early morning, every late night, every sacrifice, it's all building something bigger than you can see right now. Because success is not built in big moments, It's built in daily habits. What you do consistently creates who you become eventually. Now, let me be real. Staying consistent isn't easy. It's not glamorous. It's not always exciting. There will be days when you feel like quitting, when you doubt your path, when it feels like your efforts aren't paying off. That's the moment when most people walk away, but that's the moment you've got to push harder. You've got to remind yourself why you started. Motivation will fade, but discipline will carry you. Consistency means doing what needs to be done long after the feeling of motivation has left. That's where champions are born. In the discipline of repetition, in the grind that nobody sees, people often ask, how do you stay consistent when things aren't working out? The answer is simple. Focus on the process, not just the result. When you fall in love with the process, you stop depending on instant gratification. You understand that every repetition, every small improvement is a step toward mastery. It's like working out. You don't see change after one day, but if you stay consistent, eventually the results show. Life works the same way. You've got to keep showing up until the hard work starts to show. Another thing about consistency is that it builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. When you keep promises to yourself, you start believing in your own word. That self-trust becomes confidence. You start realizing that no matter what life throws your way, you can rely on your own effort to pull you through. Consistency builds credibility. People start taking you seriously. You're not just talking about it, you're living it. And before long, doors begin to open because the world recognizes consistency as commitment. You can't rush greatness. You can't skip steps and expect lasting success. Every day that you stay consistent, you're laying bricks on the path to your dream. Some days you'll only lay one brick, and that's okay. What matters is that you don't stop building. Even if it takes months, even if it takes years, keep going. Because one day, all those small actions will add up to something extraordinary. People will call it luck, but you'll know it was consistency. So keep showing up for yourself. Keep working on your dream, even when no one's watching. Keep putting in the effort, even when you're not getting applause. Because success doesn't belong to the most talented. It belongs to the most consistent. The ones who refuse to quit, who show up when it's hard, who keep planting seeds when others have given up. That's how you win. That's how you build a legacy. Not through bursts of effort, but through steady, unshakable consistency that turns ordinary actions into extraordinary achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the hardest lessons to learn in life is patience. We live in a world where everything moves fast, instant messages, instant food, instant results. People want success the same way they want their coffee, quick and convenient. But that's not how life works. Real success takes time. Real growth takes seasons. And if you want something truly meaningful, you've got to be willing to wait, to work, and to trust the process. The truth is, every dream has its own timing. You can't rush what's meant for you, and you can't force the season that hasn't arrived yet. You've got to keep working faithfully and patiently, even when you can't see the results yet. You see, patience isn't just about waiting. It's about how you act while you wait. Some people wait complaining, doubting, and giving up halfway through. But true patience is quiet strength. It's working hard day after day while trusting that your time will come. It's showing up even when the world tells you it's pointless. It's believing in the unseen. Every great success story has chapters of silence, struggle, and waiting. That's where the character is built. That's where faith grows. You might not be seeing progress right now, but that doesn't mean nothing's happening. Just like a seed buried underground, your dream is growing roots before it ever breaks the surface. Patience is what separates those who almost made it from those who actually did. Most people quit too soon. They plant the seed but walk away before it blossoms. They give up right before their blessing was about to arrive. But the ones who make it, they understand something powerful. Delay is not denial. Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it won't happen. Some of the best things in life take longer because they're building a stronger foundation. You can't rush greatness. You can't microwave destiny. You have to let it simmer, let it grow, and let it prepare you. Because if success comes before you're ready, it can destroy you. But if you grow into it, you'll be able to handle it. Sometimes the waiting season is not about what you're trying to get. It's about who you're becoming. Patience teaches you endurance, humility, and gratitude. It molds your character so that when your time finally comes, you'll know how to appreciate it, protect it, and sustain it. Every setback, every delay, every disappointment is preparing you for something greater. You might be wondering, when will it be my turn? The answer is simple. When you're ready. God doesn't work on your schedule. He works on your growth. And when he sees that you're ready to handle the blessing, that's when he'll release it. And being patient doesn't mean being lazy or passive. It means you keep working even when it feels like nothing's moving. It means you give your best effort even when no one is watching. It means you stay faithful to the dream when it's not giving you instant rewards. You have to understand that time is your ally, not your enemy. Every day you keep going, you're getting closer, even if you can't see it. The work you're putting in now is not wasted. It's being stored, building momentum, preparing to break through at the right moment. Success rarely comes all at once. It's built piece by piece through persistence and patience. And let me tell you something, when your time does come, it'll be worth every second of waiting. The people who doubted you will wonder how it happened so suddenly, but you'll know it wasn't sudden at all. It was years of effort, prayer, failure, and faith finally paying off. That's the beauty of patience. It multiplies your reward because you've earned it the hard way. You'll appreciate it more because you know what it cost you. The waiting season will make you wiser, stronger, and more grateful. You'll realize that the process wasn't punishment. It was preparation. So if you're in that season of waiting right now, don't lose heart. Don't let frustration make you quit. Keep working. Keep believing. Keep showing up. Your time is coming. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it's coming. You just have to stay ready. Every day you stay consistent. Every moment you keep faith. You're positioning yourself for that breakthrough. Don't envy others who seem to be getting ahead. Their journey is different from yours. Focus on your lane, trust your timing, and believe that what's meant for you will not miss you. Your time is coming, the moment when all your hard work, sacrifice, and patience finally come together. And when that day arrives, you'll look back and realize every delay had a purpose. Every moment of waiting was shaping you into the person capable of handling the blessing. So stay patient, stay faithful, and keep working because your breakthrough is already on its way.